Karma, an ancient Sanskrit word meaning action. It's more than just a word. It's a cosmic law, a principle that binds the universe, a truth that governs our lives. You are what you do. Your actions shape your destiny. There's something called karma. Your actions decide your future. Sometimes the kindness you give comes back to you in ways you never expect. Listen to this story carefully. Once in a small fishing village on the edge of the vast ocean lived a poor boy. His father, a fisherman, had passed away when he was just a little kid, leaving him and his mother with nothing but the old fishing boat. Each morning, the boy would wake up before sunrise, his small hands already aching from the previous day's work. With a heart full of determination, he would set out to sea. The waves, though, seemed to mock his efforts. They tossed the tiny boat like a leaf and often returned him to the shore with only a handful of small fish. These meager catches sold at the market for next to nothing, yet somehow he managed to make ends meet, just barely. But despite his hardships, the boy had a good heart. He shared what little he had with the seagulls, offering them pieces of his bread and throwing in fish that were too small for sale. One day, after a particularly hard storm, the boy found himself battling not just the waves, but also a deep sadness within himself. As he hauled in his nets, they came up empty again. "Why?" he cried out to the uncaring sea. Just then, he saw it, a giant fish, its silvery scales flashing in the sunlight. It was washed ashore by the strong waves, flopping and writhing in pain. Villagers gathered around, their eyes gleaming with thoughts of a feast. "Take it," one said. "It will feed you for weeks." Another added, "Why waste time with useless fish when you can catch a big one?" But the boy looked at the fish, not as food, but as a living creature, gasping for breath, struggling to return to the ocean. "If I let it die," he thought, "I gain only food for some days. But if I save it, maybe I give it life." Slowly and painfully, pushing with all his might, he helped the giant fish get back into the churning waves. The fish disappeared into the depths, leaving the boy with nothing but a sense of calm. That night, as hunger gnawed at his belly, he knew he'd made the right choice. Years flew by like the swift wings of a bird. The boy grew into a strong young man, his heart still as kind as the day he saved the fish. One sunny afternoon, he strolled along the beach, his eyes scanning the horizon. Suddenly, he heard a scream. A group of children playing on the rocks had fallen into the ocean. The strong waves were pulling them away from the shore. Without a moment's thought for his own safety, the young man dove into the water. But the current was merciless, threatening to drag him down into its swirling depths. As he struggled to stay afloat, a powerful force lifted him from beneath. To his amazement, a huge fish surfaced, the same kind he'd saved years ago. With a final push from its broad tail, it brought him close to shore. Gasping for breath, the young man stumbled onto the beach, pulling the limp form of the child behind him. A hush fell over the crowd as they watched the young man emerge from the water carrying the child. News of his heroic act spread like wildfire through the village. People came from far and wide to witness the incredible tale firsthand. Yet the young man remained humble, sharing how the fish had saved them both. In his darkest hour, when he needed help the most, the fish had returned, drawn to him by the memory of their past encounter. He realized that his seemingly insignificant act of kindness had been repaid tenfold. Standing tall, he knew that his actions had shaped not only his life, but also the lives of others. And so the legend of the boy who saved a fish and the fish who repaid his kindness was passed down through generations. A reminder that every good deed, no matter how small, can come back to us in ways we never imagine. What's the moral of this story? Here it is. What you give to the world always finds its way back to you. Do good, and good will follow.